Died too young today from the pills and booze. Had a brother come back from war, took his life with a 44. Why don't soldiers make the news? They provide us all the freedom to live. They give all that they can give till the ultimate sacrifice is paid in full. It's all done for the red, white, and blue. Why don't soldiers make the news? I see where a little girl got lost in the devil's world and died for a cause she never even knew. Watched my friend go up in smoke. He was only 20 years old. Why don't soldiers make the news? They provide us all the freedom to live. They give all that they can give till the ultimate sacrifice is paid in full. It's all done for the red, white, and blue. Why don't soldiers make the news? Oh, why does it have to be all this misery? Just for you and me. They provide us all freedom to live.
And here we are.
They give all that they
And they do. They provide all of us to do what we need to do in our country. That's our military, and the great Clint Moody singing that song. We changed it up a little bit tonight because we wanted to. And we can do
because we said we wanted to play. And listen, Clint Moody he's awesome. And that song, Soldiers, is another song that he has given us the rights to play on here. And we're just so grateful for Clint Moody and all he does for the Patriot movement. And so, hey, Bo, how are you, brother?
Yeah, I'm good. I'm Big Will's Bo Carver, and the host of the show. And our speed racer's out tonight. He's speed racing. And so
he's on the road, road again,
doing a little business trip. And so he's without attendance tonight. But I'm here, and joining me as always, the landscape living genius right there.
Yes,
guru. And
not a plug for my business. That is
there.
My
it is, right
guys.
there, right there.
Bo likes that. I planted a magnolia tree for Bo for his birthday, like 6 months late.
And it's blooming like crazy.
I know. I saw that. You sent me a picture today. It was awesome.
No, there's about 6 or 7 of them up there right now, so it's awesome.
Nice. Yep.
And so if you're in the North Texas area and need some landscaping work, Terry the Patriot Large Anderson is
not
the place
a plug
to go.
for my business. That's not
right
what this
there.
is about, Bo. Come on now.
Come on. Landscapeliving.com. Right?
There it is. Yep.
All right. So just remember that. Help out the brother. And glad to be a part of the broadcast today. We got a real special guest tonight. And without further ado, I'll turn it over to Terry and see where we want to go from here.
Sure, man. Well, I appreciate y'all tuning in and looking for you guys on our comments. Oh, Bo, remind me. Hang on. I got to share this. I got to go to Facebook.
I thought you'd do that when we were in the blue.
Man,
I got to come there and hold your hand every time we
go ahead. Hey, fill some space right here.
I'll fill some space.
Yeah,
well, number one, real quick, I'm a little dismayed about some of the morons that are going out to these college campuses and being pro-Palestine.
Columbia University.
And down in Austin. I'm not really understanding of course, now I did realize and come to the realization that about 70% of those folk that are out there are not even college students. They're agitators. So they're being paid to be out there. But there's a few morons out there that supposedly is seeking college education that they don't.
This is so funded by Soros.
Oh, no doubt.
if you look, have this all over the country. The tents are the same. The pickets are the same. This is
Mhm.
so organized, not even organized, orchestrated.
Well, and that's the whole point I was getting at is that, I mean, at some point in time, hopefully people will wake up and realize if you're going to pack back Palestine, you better get away far away from me as you can get because I ain't one of them. And I don't want to when the lightning strikes, I don't want to be anywhere close to you. So just
Exactly.
understand that. I mean, Israel is a very important part of God's layout and the design from the beginning. So if you think that Palestine is that, then just please move on down the road because I'm not going to be a participant of that. I'm not going to support that. And I'm certainly not going to be around you doing that. So that was one little issue that I wanted to bring up, and one more that I had too. Can I do that?
Yes, go ahead because I'm still switching this
Just,
over.
what's wrong with you?
Well, just working as fast. I'm technically challenged. You know that.
Well, like a week or so ago, I saw some strange stuff that was kind of interesting that I don't get what's going on here too. So there was an advertisement that I saw on social media that says "Happy Pride," and Pride was, of course, in rainbow colors
Right.
from your friends and family at First Baptist Church,
Oh,
Moorhead, Kentucky.
yeah, I saw that too.
And I'm going like, oh, really?
Yep.
I mean, are we? And let me just before I
That's the
continue.
Baptist church, and I, man,
Let me before we do that, let me
right.
continue with this, and then we can talk about both. An LBGTQ plus youth prom, May 17th from 7 to 10 p.m. Uh, top high school youth, and this was at a United Methodist Church in Frisco, Texas.
Saw that too. Yeah,
So
that's sad.
I'm not understanding the affiliation between uh, the Methodist church, this Baptist church, and the promoting of the pride and the LGBTQ, and having that coincide with God. I'm a little miffed about that. I'm not trying to be bashing of anything.
It's attack on our Christian
Moral,
compass, right? Exactly, but
yeah,
it's on our Christian beliefs. We're sitting here like at Easter, and Biden is saying this is Transgender Awareness Day or whatever.
right.
It's an attack every time. So yeah, we can get into that more. There's so much to dig into on that, and I'm sure that our guest that's coming on has a few words to say about that.
And you might as
She's
well
got
bring
it.
her on. But I thought
Well,
I'd
yeah,
just bring
but I
those
want
two things up
I
because
did, and I
those were two
appreciate you
things
doing
that
that.
hit me pretty hard this week.
Yeah, and I appreciate you doing that. I was trying to get the show posted over to Patriots at Large, and hopefully everybody's looking at that now. If not,
I
follow us
could have
on.
done that if you had that much trouble.
I did. I'm technically challenged. If you guys get a chance, follow us on our YouTube channel, on the Real Deal Broadcast on Facebook, posted on Terry Anderson on Facebook. But tonight we have a guest coming on that has been on here before, and she was on another time with another guest, and it was kind of two of them. But she's near and dear to me. She's amazing. She is so outside the box, guys. You guys got to think about this. Here
She's
is
mega gone wild. Remember, she said
she
that
is
last
mega gone wild, but she also is. I see her laughing backstage. She is also. She thinks outside the box sometimes because she looks at things from a different viewpoint than maybe I do, and but yet we have found this connection where she has been able to relay to me. Look at this is where I came from, and this is what I saw, and look at how similar things really are now. And so um, I can't even explain it as good as she can. So without further ado, my dear friend Shaunesi, we're going to bring her on stage. Yes, a little golf clap, golf clap, golf clap, golf clap. Hello, hello,
Hey,
Hi, can you guys hear
Shaughnessy, Shaughnessy, I just gave you the clap.
hello. Oh
Thank you.
no.
Thank you so much. This is, I believe it's still, the sunlight is still out. It's still PG-13, but we're going to get rated R, y'all. I think they got Real Deal XXX later on tonight. We're going to get
Right,
wild. No.
right. Maga gone wild, right?
Naga gone wild, guys. Hi, everyone. I'm Shaunesi. the more that I grow on a journey of who I'm becoming, I weirdly haven't joined the group of finding myself with the same sex or any craziness like that. I've found myself exploring the American side of me, the free side
Right.
of me, the godly side of me,
Great.
the creative side of me, and the healing side of me, breaking generational curses. Like Terry said, thinking outside the box. I like to argue that I am MAGA by day and Moses by night.
I like it.
In the daytime, you can fuck around and find out, and at night, I'm always up helping people.
Can,
Especially my community or my people to evolve and understand that we can either fight together, we can fight separate, or we can continue the shit show, and it's just better together. So I'm grateful for being.
Shaunesi, I have a question for you real quick. Didn't mean to
Mhm.
interrupt, but
Okay.
you're a civil rights activist, but a pro J6er. So how do those coexist?
Well, first of all, thank you for asking that question. I think a lot of people are either afraid to ask that question or they are not intelligent enough to
Well,
understand that
I'm
that
not
question is.
intelligent enough, so that's
No,
the
no, no,
issue.
no, no. You're more than intelligent because that's a question that should have been asked a long time ago.
Well,
And I'm
good.
very disgusted that the big wig civil rights advocates, especially from NAACP or the different the NAN organizations, are not supporting the J6ers.
Good.
And so tonight, obviously, as you guys saw on the flyer, the reason that I am both is because we all are J6. We all are J6 because when there is an attack on you, you're being attacked from so many different ways. And people have had, especially in I guess in both communities, they've had a perception that civil rights only applies to race. And that's
Right.
not what civil rights is, guys.
I
Civil
agree.
rights is about rights of citizens to political, social, and equality freedom. And
Okay,
so
wait. Let's back that up. Let's repeat that one more time. What is? Tell us what civil rights really is.
civil rights is the rights of citizens to political, social, and equality freedom.
Right, right.
So it's freedom and equality. It's not based on it includes race, religion, education, disability, political views, so many things. It's so many things. That's why you see a lot of the LBGT community getting a lot of support, and not to like get off of topic, but that's why you see that, because they're a class in the civil rights they're a protected class, and so they are to be protected. But because we have not in formal education in a school setting, we haven't learned enough about civil rights. You got to go and Google that yourself. People don't know that the J6ers are having the same civil rights violations as the George Floyd families, as the Trayvon Martin families, as the
Well,
whatever the boy name.
and
Uh, uh,
Shaunesi, back when Martin Luther King was here, and they did the march to the Capitol and the whole thing, uh, you know, they didn't do the same thing as they did to the J6ers. And from what I understand, and I was for that march. Don't get me wrong.
correct.
I'm old enough to remember that. And so I was for, for what they were doing. But for some reason, that didn't happen to that group like it did with the J6ers. Now, was it all based on Donald Trump? Because I don't think it was a race issue, because there was a lot of mixed groups that were part of the J6 organization. From what I understand, I wasn't there, but
Oh my
Terry
gosh,
was.
there were so many. There was Cash Kelly. We talked to him a few weeks ago. This was a black, white, yellow thing. It's not about that. But the point, the point that we were trying to talk about, the discussion we wanted to have tonight with Shaunesi, is about how civil rights are not just a black thing or a oppressed, what you would call a disenfranchised community thing. This is across the board, because we're seeing civil rights being violated on every level, on every color of every person in this country right now. And Shaunesi came to me and she said, "Hey, I have this thing. We are all J6." And tell us about that, Shaunesi. Tell us. I mean,
So
tell us more about this.
let's go back
Let's
for one
dig it.
second because I don't want
Okay.
to I want to make sure I address Bo's question.
Okay.
Anybody that is on this phone, when you get off this phone today, you will be doing yourself an injustice to yourself if you say that you are patriotic and you do not self-educate and learn what civil rights are and how it is affecting you. The situation with January 6th specifically is most definitely an attack on politics and political freedom. It's most definitely an attack on an opponent against another opponent. It's most definitely an attack on the Constitution, which you cannot do under the civil rights laws. And I'll go into a few of them to give y'all some to take home and to tell to some of your J6ers or anybody. But I wanted to address that question first. That's the first thing I wanted to address. The second
Okay.
thing that I wanted to address is the handling of how the January 6th situation versus how the Martin Luther King, maybe 60, 70 years ago or however long ago that
Yeah.
was. The difference is that we have more media now. And so
Yeah.
Donald Trump, I don't even think that he understood it himself. He would say that's fake news or whatever. They have a way of creating narratives online through
Mhm.
the news, and whatever somebody watches, they can't go any further than what they see or what they've heard.
Hmm.
So if they
True.
see it one place, then that's what they think it is. So the media put out all of these Caucasian people running in and put, I'm like, wait a minute, Cash, how was you? You're black. Wait a minute, James
Okay.
Beats, how the hell? What are you
Right.
talking about? They created a narrative so that it could skew the perception of African Americans to say, oh yeah, that's white privilege. Oh yeah, blah blah blah, and it did not give a full
Hmm.
story of what it was. It made it look like it was these Ivy League brats that didn't like the election being rigged. And then
Right.
here I go meeting people, and they're like, "Oh, Shaunesi, you want to have a kickback at my house?
Yeah.
And we're gonna barbecue a hog head, and we're gonna." I'm like, "What the? Thought you were like a multi-billionaire corporate. What the hell? Oh yeah, and look at my 12 gauge shotguns over there, and yeah, and so it did not show the media that it is literally everyday people. And while the skin tone may be different, ultimately at the end of the day, it's the same group of people class wise. It is the everyday American.
That's what it
They
is.
just happen to be a little more lighter in skin for the bulk of the group, about 90% of the group, or maybe like that, right? And so just so that everybody understands, in the Martin Luther King picture, you don't have everybody posting it on their
You didn't
social
have
media with
social
their
media,
phones.
and you
So
had, I
you can
think,
only see this one picture, and it looks
right.
like Martin Luther King and like 9,000 civil African American men in suits and penny loafers, right?
And
And
I
so
think
it
I think the
looks
media was more journalists too, instead of being
correct.
bought.
And
Right.
then you got writing. But here with J6, you got the guy that I still want to meet that had the statue in his hand, or the person that ran
Yeah.
through and, you know what I'm saying, did the cool stuff that you say, well, it may not have been politically correct, but in that moment, maybe I would have wanted to take a picture with this, or, stick my middle finger up in the Capitol and say I did it, or whatever the case may be. And that's how they've been able to break us more. So the reason that I created or am formulating We Are All J6 is because I have clients right now who I represent on a federal, state level, and I started with education advocacy. So I started in the schools, and then it just came out to more things like that. And these people are fighting to get out of prison because of their civil rights violations that also overlap with the constitutional violations that got them there, because they did nonviolent crimes such as, may have sold drugs or different things. I mean, it's a variety of things. And so when I sat down with some of the J6ers, free my girl Cynthia Price, oh my God, prayers to Martin
Hey,
Reeves,
prayers.
it's just
Yes.
so many people, right? I said, wait a minute, your paperwork look like you one of my homeboys from back in North Carolina. You know what I'm saying? The way that they have wrote it, it looks the same way that it looks for my homeboys who got locked up for maybe, you know what I'm saying, being a part of a drug transaction or trafficking or something like that. They violated your rights, your civil rights. Then, guys, when they put us in these cages, right, there are civil rights that are supposed to be protected. When you're going through the trial process, you have the due process. If you have things like, and I'm also a mental health advocate, I have generalized anxiety and major depressive disorder. When I go to court, most of my court hearings are online because I am a self-represented litigant. So they have to let me participate virtually because I need to be in my own space. And that is a ADA accommodation that falls under civil rights. For those who want to participate in court hearings, take these notes as I'm giving them out and the nuggets as I'm giving them out. In the United States, the court shall be open. So if you have a qualifying disability, but you want to participate in one of the trials remotely for one of the J6ers, you can file a paper for you to be able to participate in that court hearing, and they're going to have to provide you with a link. So the media and the Biden administration wants to do this media thing one-sided, but we have technology now that allows our civil rights to have to be exercised even more, because these all of these courts, they get Title II funding, Title III funding, and under certain acts they have to accommodate your civil rights, which are your ADA accommodations and things like that. And for a lot of people, they are breaking them. Specific to Chris and Cynthia's case, I sat in on it and I talked to their attorney, and I'm like, hey, Chris has cancer. Cynthia, she has her own things that, like, I mean, they mess with our nervous system, y'all. We go into these courts and they have you worked up, and that's going to create anxiety because you already don't know what they're going to do to you. I don't know what a lot of you guys have been through, but they violated my civil rights. They had U.S. Marshals come knock at a hotel that I was at. They gave them a key. That violated my Fourth Amendment right. And guess what that hotel had to do? Cut me a check. Because I said, if you don't cut me a check for violating my Fourth Amendment and you violated my privacy, which then violated my civil rights, and then it violated, you triggered my anxiety, my ADHD, my this, that, and the third, I'm going to sue you. And so when I wrote them a notice of intent to sue, they had to cut me and my daughters a check. What they're doing to Donald Trump is they're hitting his pockets. If we all sit down and we have conversations about civil rights more and look at what they're violating, specific to J6ers, specific to the African Americans or blacks that they are over sentencing for nonviolent crimes in the school system. And that's why I homeschool my daughters. They cannot accommodate my children. And so I have to homeschool them. So that's a civil rights thing. If we start holding them accountable for these things and we hit them in the pockets, because why would you need to pay an attorney for something you can Google? If you can be on Facebook all day, you can get on Google. I'll say this transparently, and I hope it doesn't shock any of you guys, but in my homeschooling of my daughters, I think I said it the last time I was on the line, I tell my girls, don't have a smartphone and be a dumb nigger. And so I will say the same thing to everybody else. I don't want to say like something that'll offend you guys. I only say what's specific to my race because that's just where my heart is. But you can find your own way to say it where it'll stick to your people, because it's that serious. And we have at our fingertips ways that we can look up the laws, ways that we can look up the civil rights stuff, and ways that we can take it and we can apply it so that they can stop violating it, or at least they know that, we know. With the We Are All J6 movement, I want to do writing over riots. So I actually will be helping people from all walks of life write this stuff on the record and file these complaints with the Office of Civil Rights.
Let me jump in here real quick. And I got to brag on you for a minute, sister. You just got your dang degree, girl.
Oh yeah.
Come on now. So you gonna show me a picture of it? This girl is going to school. She is educating herself.
Got my little red cup with the 2024 on there.
Red Solo
cup. Got my little ladies. I got my little, my hair is not done, but I'll put this on and I'll just have this dangling. But I keep it as a laughable reminder.
I'm so proud of you for that. And so because you're a fighter, and here's the thing, and this is what I've learned from watching you, is that there's a system out there that is geared against us as conservatives, or geared against us as there's
freedom fighters.
Well, and it's not just that, but I mean, if you talk about civil liberties, you can have the black community, you can have Asian community, you can have a white community. There's different levels and there's different ways they come against us because the government's in overreach, right? But what we have got to learn to do is to fight against that. And Shaunesi has went a step above me, I'm just, getting stuff off the internet. I'm not going for further education. I'm too old for that shit. But you, Shaunesi, have went and got your dang degree, and you're going to become an attorney, and this is going to be
Yes.
awesome. You're going to get your bar degree, and you're going to be able to fight for civil rights for people, for January 6 people, for blacks, for whites. It doesn't matter, because anytime there's an overreach of the government, and anytime they violate our civil rights, and they haven't given us due process, and they haven't given us our constitutional rights, they are violating our civil liberties. And
Correct.
that's what this is about for me. I'm so proud of you for what you're doing, and then also working with us at APR, working with Cynthia, Mama Bear, all these people that are involved with APR. We love you, and you have come into our organization, our group, our sphere of influence, and you become somebody who says, "Hey, I'm willing to work with you guys." And to me, that says, "Hey, we're winning. We're starting to win, because it's not, they're wanting to race bait us, right? They like
Right.
to race bait us. We're not going to do that anymore. We're going to say, you know what? We're standing up against the government overreach, the civil rights infractions, because we, as the people, are tired of this shit. And it doesn't, and we know that you are trying to pit us against each other, and
Right.
we see through that shit. And so, and that's why you and I have had this affinity since we've met. We're like, yeah, I get it. And it's and
It's
you and
real, y'all.
Cynthia, it is real,
I,
and we need to focus on that more, that this is not about black and white, or left or right. This is about good versus evil right now.
It's
Jean,
a,
I got another question for you.
mhm.
As far as the civil rights issue, why is the ACLU not doing anything to back the J6ers or anything that's in regards to that?
Good
Because
question.
that's their whole thing is, fighting for freedom, fighting for rights, and yet they've totally distanced themselves from that, and that really educates me. I hate that.
Is
So
that a word? Urgicates?
It is now.
I like.
so to answer your question with that, it's because they don't have the balls to do it. There's no other way to put that. Ben
Then why would
Crump
you
is
call yourself the American Civil Liberties,
uh,
organization when you're not doing crap about it? And
uh,
what more place could they've ever done that than now?
because that's not the
Now,
agenda for that. So guys, attorney Ben Crump, who was also got the settlements for George Floyd, Trayvon Martin, and a couple of other people, he actually was my attorney. He was my attorney for the wrongful arrest because of the U.S. Marshals coming saying I didn't return a rental car, which would have been a misdemeanor in a state level, but they brought the U.S. Marshals task force
and
out for
rated
me.
and rated
They
your place
rated,
where,
they
yeah, they
rated it,
rated you
yeah.
same as they
you
did
look
me.
you look like a lot of trouble, so I can see that.
Yeah, I said, oh wow, for me, like, oh my god, yeah. So, anyways, once he took my case, well, his paralegal took my case. I signed my contract. I said I was going to sit back and see what he would do. So then a couple of months went by, and I said, hey, what's the status of my case? And so then I got a letter saying, hi, I'm attorney Ben Crump, and I'm not saying that you don't have a case. What I'm saying is I cannot represent you, and my firm can't represent you, and you have a statute of limitations for yada yada yada. So you want to get another attorney on this, yada yada yada. So basically, guys, what he was saying is I am a fake ass black man that works for the white man. I am the real version of the Uncle Tom, not the one who worked with the white people, but I
Mhm.
am a fuck boy. I'm a puppet, and they pull my string, and I only can work for those like the what was it, the Central Park Five and the George
Right.
Floyds and the
Something
whatever.
that's
But I
got a lot
cannot
of
work for
political view
everybody.
to it, right? Something's
I
got some
cannot work for everybody because that's
right,
not what I signed up to do.
right.
And
I
because
got
I am barred to these people. And if I don't do what they say, then I don't know what, maybe they'll kill them. Shit. Maybe so with the same thing with the ACLU, these people, it's a dirty game, y'all. I jokingly say all the time, I tell Terry, I tell everybody, if they kill me, at least I got it all on the record. I'm not in a place right now where I need to worry about dying. I'm just anxious to live, and every moment that I'm on this earth I will whistle blow until I can't anymore, because nobody never ever should I shouldn't have ever went through this stuff. The J6 shouldn't have went through this stuff. There is no fucking order in the court, and it is
right.
disgusting. And like Terry said, and y'all know I come from church, a church background. My mom's a minister. My dad was a pastor. My uncle spearheaded the Million Man March both years. He
Sweet.
was the brains behind it. That's where the civil rights in me comes from. And none of these people are helping. So it's very, I see it firsthand. It's very common that a lot of people are practicing their Miranda rights, if you will, in the wrong places, because they should be vocal for people right now. Because where do you know in what country that thousands of people just get locked up, and you know what I'm saying? They no real jury trials, no real evidence.
Yep.
All of these people just strategically work together, and comma, it just so happened to be a rigged election over there to the side. And the president, the old
Just so
president, because
happened.
he's not the president no more, is telling people, hey, let me get to them so I can control them. And they're telling him, sit your ass back. No. And then we're going to charge you with all of this shit. And then we're going to make everybody look like they're pleading guilty because they do not understand they have right to a jury trial. So they take a plea because they want it over, because their nervous system is being, you know what I'm saying, bothered, and they just want it out the way, or maybe they can't afford it
You
and they
look
don't
at
know.
me, Shaunesi. You know that's where I'm at with my case,
Right,
right?
right. They
They try
know.
to
I'm telling you,
intimidate you. They're
everybody's
like, take a
stories.
deal, take a deal, because if you don't take a deal, you're going to go down. And so they intimidate you. But again,
Right.
now is that a violation of our civil rights, or is
That's
that
what I
just
was about to say. It
go ahead?
absolutely is. So what I did was being a leader like Donald Trump. I come from network marketing. Leaders create more leaders, but I won't tell somebody something that I have not tried myself. So what I did was I went into, they arrested me for second degree assault on my child. They said intent to frighten. It really was, they were mad that I homeschooled her and she got into a lot of colleges, and she's more melanated. She's more darker than I am. So she would have been a poster child for black girls who can read. And they were pissed
Right,
the fuck off because I didn't know, Terry, that, you know, maybe like 50 years ago, women couldn't even go to her college, which is a civil rights violation. It's just a bunch of bullshit. So, anyways, I said, I'm going to represent myself. Take it to trial. I got trial penalty. I got acquitted of one of the charges. The other one, the judge had to read the jury instructions on. I said, fuck you, I'm going to appeal it. And every time she denied something, I kept appealing it. And so for the last 2 years, I've been teaching myself. And the more that I teach myself, I'm like, wait, I asked to participate remotely. They say no because they wanted to make me come into courts. I challenged that. I filed a civil rights complaint. They come back and they slow it down a little bit. And so I learned that they were actually playing on my nervous system, my civil rights. And so I look at other cases. And so that's how with Cynthia's case, I told her attorney, I'm like, if they put Cynthia, when they put her in, if they put Chris in, under your civil rights, if you have certain types of conditions or disabilities, they have to put you in a certain level of prison. He got to go to a golf course. He can't go to, you know what I'm saying, Rikers Island, baby. That
right,
would be a civil rights violation. It's
right.
certain things that they have to do, but we don't know these things. And so people will sit there, and because the public markets or the media markets civil rights as the sit-ins with you know, what is his name, Al Sharpton and Jesse Jackson and all these old ass black
Yeah,
motherfucking men, and they don't show the reality of what it is right now. Sorry,
right.
y'all. I don't
No.
I'm a straight shooter.
Shaunesi, I have another question for you.
Mhm.
What is the your feeling and the view that you have among the black community towards uh, conservatism, you know, that kind of approach, or towards Donald Trump, or maybe even, you know, their feelings along those lines? What, are you seeing anything that might be a positive aspect of that, or are they still just washed in the old way?
Well, what I will say is that over the last probably 6 months to a year, I've been very proud for, because my people think I don't like them and I'm a sellout because I talk to Terry and you know what I'm saying, and
And
I'm
me.
talking to Bo. So now I'm not black, whatever the fuck that means.
Right,
Right. If you
exactly.
And so
don't
I
vote
think,
for me, you ain't black.
right. And so that literally was the mindset for forever. And so now you have these people, and they're coming by groups, and Shaunesi, oh my God, I think I'm not voting for Biden. Or I think that their light switches are starting to come on more
That's
Good.
awesome.
as it relates to it. Because you had a lot of black people, and I say this openly, who were very ignorant. And I mean, I think that may be the same in other
Well,
races. It's
white,
like my
white
vote
too.
don't count.
Hey,
There's
don't just
ignorant
say
white
that
people too,
black,
for
because
No,
sure.
no, no.
Right.
That's what I was saying. I
plenty
think it
Yeah.
may
across
be
the
in both.
board.
My
But
vote
I
doesn't
understand what you're
count.
saying.
Right. My vote doesn't count. I'm not voting anyway. These mindsets of people. But I again speak to what I've seen directly. And they thought that their voices didn't matter, or they didn't realize if you don't like Donald Trump, why don't you get on the fucking ballot? You can actually run from prison. Did you know that? The fuck you
we
mad at him
have
for?
we
Why
have
don't
some
you
people
do
that
it?
are we have some people, the pastor here in Dallas Fort Worth, that is running. Actually, the other pastor is not from Dallas Fort Worth, but his vice presidential candidate is running from Kevin Caldwell's church. And you if you're tired of the system, do something about it. Don't sit there and bemoan the problem. Get off your butt and do something, right?
That's the only thing you can do. I tell people all the time, I'm not arguing with nobody who don't have. You need to have a mugshot from like Alphabet Boy. It's what we call them. I'm not
otherwise,
arguing with
otherwise, yeah, you ain't got no
you're
skin in the
not
game. You
you're
don't
not
have skin
there.
in the game.
And so, because of that, to answer your question, I think that a lot of people are seeing it. I have a guy right now. His name is Donald Shealy. The judge sentenced him for a nonviolent crime to they gave him trial penalty. So they said either you take a plea or we're going to give you life. He took it to trial and they gave him life. The judge died. It's a nonviolent crime. He didn't even have a background. It was drugs, obviously, and the drug laws have changed. It was 15 years ago. He said, Shaunesi, you bring me as many of the J6s as possible. He said, when they go in prison, you tell them I run this one and this one. They don't got to worry about nothing. These guys are ready to come together because
Yeah.
they're saying that
Yeah,
yelling
because
that, oh,
their rights were violated just like the
and
J6ers.
so
There's a
that's
coming
why I
together
came
of
up
that.
with we are all. I'm like,
Right,
damn, they did it to me.
right.
Like, oh my God, I wouldn't even harm a fly. Me? Then it's
The
But you
f-
like,
know
I
what?
mean, I
So
know.
is that the good news that's come out of this, Shaughnessy? Is that because of that, and here's the thing, and man, I was never raised a certain way like that. I mean, I grew up, uh, man, I had one black person in my school in
Mhm.
1983. So it wasn't just where I lived. It's just where you lived. It wasn't but I was never there was multiracial grandchildren. I love them. But here's the thing. Today we have an opportunity to bypass all of that crap. To just say, you know what, we are one country, and maybe that's the unifying part about it, is because we can sit here because we're all raised. I talked to you the other day about this, about seeing disenfranchised communities on the border with the Hispanic communities of Laredo, Del Rio, and seeing these, I mean, the barrios down there, and people are living hand to mouth. They're living in shacks, inner cities, Chicago, right? Poor white folk, living out in the country. It does not matter. We are the country, right? And so we are the people. And so but this is an opportunity for us to band together, to join together, and to really, for once and for all, put this shit down. Put it down. Put the race baiting down. Put all this stuff down, and just be able to just say, we're Americans. I don't care what the hell color your skin is. We are Americans. We all bleed the same, and we all stand up for our country. We all believe in our country. And the civil rights part of it is just, that's how we protect ourselves. But the other part is joining together. And when you came to me and you talked to me about we are all J6, I thought, you know what, this girl is really on to something, because we are all J6. Listen, it's not just we're all J6. We're all black. We're all persecuted.
We're
We're
all
all whatever.
we're all
We're,
tired. The hell.
yeah, we're all
Yeah,
tired of this persecution,
exactly.
Yeah, and so it doesn't matter. What matters is that, we now can see through the lies of our government that is trying to keep us down in one way or another, or violate our rights in one way or another, and we can stand together in solidarity for our country and for freedom of our rights and protecting our rights.
And that's where we should be. Just picture if the people from everybody fights a different way, but it's the same fight. And so if you
It
have the
is.
people like me who I fight on paper. I know how to do that, right? And then you have people who are able to go out and protest. And then you have people who may be able to use their network and bring people together like that. That's pretty much the vision of We Are All J6, is connecting the dots, is not reinventing any wheels. It's me
Nope.
bringing my network to American Patriot Relief, to the Real Deal podcast, to all of the other people that I'm connected with. Like I said, Cash and I are working on some stuff. James and I are working on some stuff. It's just so much work to be done, but it's better together. And we're in a climate where it's a sense of urgency for this shit to be fixed. So we got to work smarter, not harder. So I don't need to go and try to create something else. It's really, it's basically a grassroots civil rights unity movement, and that's what I want to
You're
do.
right.
It's time to unify and to show it. It's time for the picture to look. If the picture, so when you look at civil rights, guys, you may see a child in a wheelchair. You may see this is just right now in America how they're marketing it. Maybe a person in a wheelchair, a transgender person, a person. I don't know. That's pretty much how those things look. I went in Target the other day and I'm like, what is going on? Like, what the pictures? If we come together and just, it's just a group of Americans. That's all.
Hey,
You
let
may
me let
be.
me let me read this post that Cash put out today. Did you hear? Did you see that post that Cash put out today?
I
Gotta
haven't been
pause a
on
second. I'll be right
Facebook.
back.
I'm going to read this to you, okay? It
Mhm.
says, "Hey, exciting announcement. Hey, everybody, are you ready to dive into something truly extraordinary? Let's talk about the American made products. Wait. That's not it. This is the wrong one. Hang on. Wrong post. Oh, here it is. In a world that constantly tries to divide us, let's stand strong together as Americans. Whether we come from different backgrounds, beliefs, or walks of our life, our unity is our strength. Let's remember that we are all in this together, striving for the same ideals, freedom, justice, and opportunity for all. Our diversity is what makes us unique, but our shared values is what binds us together as a nation. Instead of focusing on our differences, let's celebrate what unites us, our love for this great country and our commitment to making it even better for future generations. Together, we can overcome any challenge and build a brighter future for all. Let's keep our hearts open and our minds engaged and our spirits undivided. United we stand, divided we fall. And that's from Cash today.
And that's spot on. It pretty much sums it up. Some people say it, in a cleaner way. Some people are more rough around the edges. I think me and Donald Trump are rough around the edges. So I say it, how I see it. Listen, let's get this shit together, y'all. Like,
Right,
I'm
right.
calling my rednecks, my hillbillies, my street dudes, my goons, run
Your
it.
net,
Well,
Like
your
that.
cousin, your
isn't that
cousins.
isn't that the way it should be? And I have a scripture that lines up to what you're saying, Shaunesi, because
You know, we always take a little time for scripture in this thing,
Yes,
so we're going to
yes,
hear it.
we're all brothers and sisters.
right.
We are. We
We
come
are.
from the Creator God that created all of us. We might have a little different color skin. We might have a different language, but we are one under the one Creator God. This comes from Romans 12, 1 and 2. Therefore, I urge you, brothers and sisters, in view of God's mercy, to offer your bodies as a living sacrifice, holy and pleasing to God. This is your true and proper worship. Do not conform to the pattern of this world, but be transformed by the renewing of your mind. Then you will be able to test and approve what God's will is, his good, pleasing, and perfect will. So when you're renewing your mind, that's what's pleasing
Right,
and approval to God.
right,
So what you've been saying this whole time is a living proof of this scripture here, 12, 1 and 2. Romans
right.
12, 1 and 2. Beautiful.
And I just want y'all to understand this right here, because when we're talking about the renewing of the mind, and we're talking about the evil doers, and we're talking about the attack on our children and the attack on, because when you go into prisons or jails, a lot of my friends come out different. They give them medicine, they give them wrong mental health diagnosis, they just turn them into, things that they're not.
Robots, like
Right.
out.
Protect your mental, protect your mental, protect your mental. Pray,
Right.
go and
Correct.
take hot showers, learn how to protect your mental, because these people are
And
preying.
study, learn, try to
Right.
seek.
Feed your brain as
Right.
much reading as you can, because that's what they want to do, is to get in our heads. And if you look at it, most people don't have the education, don't have the resources, aren't tech savvy. It's a lot of stuff coming at us at once right now, and they are trying to make a lot of changes, right, and pull the chair from under us without us realizing it until after the fact. And we have to stay in a place where we don't conform and become what they're trying to do, because that's all that they want to do, is make people not understand that, and that is a civil rights violation. I've been arguing with them. I told my judge she needed a mental assessment and a competency test. I got that in the appellate court right now. I'm not gonna stop because that lady's
I don't want to
crazy.
argue with this girl in court at
Yeah.
all,
And
ever,
yeah.
ever.
So the thing about it is that I had therapy today, and I told them about this or whatever. And I go to therapy not because something is wrong, but to try to keep everything as right as possible. Adversity is inevitable. My mom used to say all the time, weapons will form, but they won't prosper, right? It was
Right.
funny because when the Fannie Willis situation came up, she said she'd never heard of this scripture until her stuff happened and she was in a black church. And I'm just like, why would you say that out loud? Now I gotta go back to my friends and try to make, yeah, God, come on, girl. How have you never heard of that? And so weapons will form, but they will not
No,
prosper. And
no weapon formed against me shall
right.
prosper.
And so when
Amen.
we're when
Come on.
we're
I
doing
just
these
posted that.
things, y'all, we may not be talking, we laugh, we joke, we may curse a little bit here and there, have a drink, whatever have you, but we are two and three touching and agreeing on the same things. And
Yes.
Right.
because we're doing that, we have power, and it's very important because energy transfers. So I may say something tonight that someone may take and they may be really inspired by it, and they go and they may do something somewhere that I haven't tapped into. Y'all are giving me, I'm just getting chills because my ancestors
Come
were
on,
not able
sister.
to do
Come
this.
on.
And I
Come on,
know,
sister. There you go.
I know
This
that
is what it's all about. This is what it's about, sister.
it's
We have,
liberating,
yes, thank
but it's
you.
mental. And so we need to protect our mentals because the attack is on this right here. They
Yep.
want people to be MAGA extremists and crazy and all of these other things. Or you're upset because my views are different, but the Constitution says I have that right. Civil rights says I have that freedom and I can do that. You're not bothering this other group of people. You're letting this group of people change everything from, their hind parts to, you know what I'm saying? They're everything about them, and you're not bothering them.
Look
But
at
as
I got.
soon,
Look at I got
yes.
this weekend.
Yeah.
I got
So
this. I got this little mini
it
version of the
it's
Constitution and the
Did you get
Declaration
that
of
from Moms for
Independence.
Liberty?
Yes, it's
it
no. This
Uh,
came from We the People. No, We the People. This came from.
oh, we the
this
people. Okay.
it's
Yeah.
okay, and you'll be backed 100% by the ACLU and your liberties if you view yourself as a cat
You're
or
right.
a
Right.
dog or a
If you
tree
go and
or
meow,
whatever, and you'll get
Right. So
all
they're going to
that
protect their
backing
civil
from
liberties,
that.
but they're
But
not going to
when you
protect
have a
the.
chance to just say, "Hey, I think the election might have been a little misleading, or there's a problem there," then you're going to go to jail for years. And so how in the Sam Hill do we allow that in
Let
this
me ask you
country?
this. Let me
And
ask you
and
this.
before you do, Terry, I think this is an issue that should cross both lines of conservative, liberal,
Democrats,
Republican, Democrat.
Democrats.
If
Yeah.
you don't see the forest for the trees, that if they're blocking mine and your, Shauna and Terry's liberties here,
right,
our liberties that we have, they're going to get you sooner or later, because that's what's happened in all socialist and communist countries.
right,
They'll get you first and them second. And
right,
if they don't see that and we don't understand that, then you're eventually going to be washed. You're
right,
out.
So
right,
let
and
me
they
just touch base on this real quick. So here's the deal. So we have political persecution and we have civil liberties, right?
Right.
right,
Kind of akin. They're akin, right? You're being
right,
politically persecuted, and in doing so, they're violating your civil liberties, right? We've
right,
Correct.
seen a lot of political persecution lately. Now, so there's been other persecution in the past for your race, for your color. That's persecution, not maybe political, but just persecution that does violate your civil
Correct.
liberties. But now we have political persecution, which is violating people's civil liberties again. And
Right.
so it all comes down to that: is how do we stand up against that, against this overreach of our government, against the violation of our civil liberties of our government? How do we stand up against that together, Shaunesi?
the answer to that question is short. We unify and we educate. Each one teach one. and then we act on those things. We have to get this stuff on the record. We have to be willing to file. I used to be scared to go into the because y'all know my case is in the home of Maryland versus Brady. I'm Brady versus Maryland, which is where the Brady cops and the Brady prosecutors come from. And at first I was scared to go in there and file in person. Then I realized that they have e-filing and it's free, and I could just shoot because they say that they
Start
say that I
filing.
got they
Fire them
think I'm
off.
they think I'm from Texas, so I can shoot 45 shots of e-filing, right? I can shot 45 documents and 2 seconds and e-file. So I had to self-educate on it. So it's a lot of stuff that we can do. Having the confidence, the same confidence to go and protest is the same confidence to file. If you're gonna say it outside and chance it, you can chance it on the record, but being confident with that. Meeting people like myself, I review. That's what I do now. One of my new jobs is reviewing documents before somebody file them to make sure that it makes sense. Not no legal advice per se, but it's time to stand up to these people. They thought that they were going to exhaust us with these criminal charges, right? And that we would have to pay attorneys. Learning to be a self-represented litigant. I am representing myself in North Carolina, Maryland. In Maryland, I'm in the district court, the superior court, the appellate court, and I'm going to the Supreme Court. In North Carolina Supreme Court, and I'm about to go to SCOTUS. I taught myself
And
everything
you were
I know.
doing this without a license, a bar degree, without
Absolute. I'm
right
doing this with
as
a
a
bottle. I call it. I don't know if y'all ever heard of Taylor Port wine. I do Taylor Port in court. That's what I do. I get my bottle of wine. I cut my music on. I get to Googling. If I need to have praise and
and you'll
worship, I
find the
might.
answers are out there. They are.
Everything is within your fingertips. The Black Law Dictionary is a Bible for
It
law.
is the Bible. That's right.
Just
Black's Law.
opening it up, even if you don't know you don't know the exact wording, you just say my civil rights were violated, or
And if
I
you don't
object.
know, go ask somebody. Go talk to Shaunesi. Reach out to him. We've
So
got to
y'all, and here's
communicate
one
this
other
more.
thing I learned about this whole little situation. When you do something wrong in court, it's like school. So if you do something wrong, you file a motion wrong, right? The only
Mm-hmm.
thing they're going to do is write back and say this motion doesn't comply with rule blah blah blah. They're going to give you the
Right.
answer. So it's like
Right.
a teacher that's
Right.
saying
And
no,
then
you didn't,
you refile it the
and
right
then
way.
you
Then yeah.
refile it. And so when I found that out, I'm
That's
like,
what
oh
I'm finding
shit,
out with mine. Hey, remember when we had you on here with Troy Smocks, and he's a great constitutional,
yeah.
student, and he knows that, and that's what we need. We need more people that actually will read the Constitution, read what your rights are. I got one question. We're getting close to the end of the hour here.
Mhm.
I got a question for you. And this kind of ties back to the beginning of our meeting, and we were talking about the protests in Columbia and all these universities across the country, right?
Mhm.
Pro Palestine, just pro Hamas, just crazy stuff going on, right? Now, here's the trick. This is the rub. Do they have the same civil liberties to do that stuff? This is a rub.
They have the same civil liberties because all of them are not going to get charged, and they're still alive, and Ashley Babbitt is not, and they're
Right,
not going through the shit that we're going through. They
right.
let other people
So
do
they're
it,
actually getting their rights handed to them
They're
like what they
giving them
want.
their right. Okay, see, this is
Right.
the thing. Here's
Yeah.
the
See,
thing.
they're
This
getting
is the
it, but
rub.
the people that's
Right.
opposite of
They're
that will
allowing right.
not
So
get it.
they're allowing them to go
Right.
and protest, and there's pictures of overturned benches and
That's agenda
going in.
driven stuff, though, Terry.
Exactly. So
It's all agenda
but
driven.
here's the thing. You cannot have a two-tier you
Well, we
cannot
have
have
it
a
right now.
no, but you can't have a two-tier civil liberties. You
But
can't
we
have
do
two.
have that right now. It's
So
the
you have a
problem.
one tier for the left or for the far left. You have a civil liberties for them, and they're giving it to them from the LBGTQ, from the protesters at Columbia. But then you have another civil liberties on the right that is nothing like that, and they've prosecuted and they've persecuted and they've shut them down. And now here we are watching this play out in front of us, and you wonder why people are pissed. I'm
Well,
pissed.
well, here's the thing I'd like to ask Shaunesi is what is the way to stop that? How can we stop that? Because we know this is agenda driven administration. It's about votes. And the more votes, the more power you get, the more power you get, the more money you get, the more money you get, the more power you get. And I think that most Americans, or a lot of Americans, have seen through their nonsense, their smoke
Right.
and mirrors. And so, how do we get to the place to we can balance this type of civil liberties out that we're not seeing today?
So it's less talk, more action. And if someone is on the line right now, and I've said something that gave you an idea about your case, somebody else's case, or a civil rights violation, please contact me. It's bookshaunesi@gmail.com. I didn't get a chance to get the website up for this because I'm
I'll put
working
it
on a
up.
federal case, but bookshaunesi@gmail.com. And I will personally help you wherever I can to get this, whatever you need filed, whether it's a complaint. We need to get this stuff on the record. The more complaints they have, they try to give us busy work. It's, oh, Shaunesy's educated and she's going to go and talk to the J6ers and help them. Let's go, raid her. Let's go raid where she lives at. Let's go bother her children. We need more people that are prepared for when they try to take a leader down like they did Donald Trump. And see, they thought he was standing by himself, but he's not,
You are the
because now,
worst. You are
look,
the worst threat, Shaunesi, to their narrative. You
listen,
because you
tell them
no, you
motherfuckers
are.
to bring it. They will not tell me
You know
where my
why you're the
father
worst
is
threat?
buried.
Because here you are, the person that the person that they're saying that the white liberals are fighting for the blacks, and it's just bullshit because it's all posturing, and it's all social. What do they call it? Oh, but they're doing it for looks, and so and here you are and saying no, that's not what we want. Cash Kelly, Ajwa Mason. There's so many. Well, guys gone off the deep end, but anyways, there's so many people. There's so many people that are out there that are saying, hey, this is not who we are, and so but. You are destroying their narrative by being here tonight, by speaking your truth, and thank you for that.
I will not stop, even in death. I have made a decision for my life while I'm on this earth to put as much as I can on the digital footprint, because the once you put something on the internet, it doesn't go away. You can censor it, but you can't make it disappear. As much information as I have and as much as I can help people, I want to put that out, because this could never happen again. And I feel like we weren't prepared for it. But we are here, and it's the only thing we can do is work together, and we can work smarter, not harder. And we can show Donald Trump that he is not in this fight by himself, that people will get the mug shots. We've gotten them by mistake, but on purpose. We will fight. Even if we don't have attorneys, we will fight, because that's what a true American patriot would do. My ancestors built this country with y'all ancestors. We're gonna
Yes,
work together to
no,
keep this
definitely.
country together, and it's gonna be girls and boys doing that. And if you decide that you want to be something other than that, you can do that in the back. But in the forefront of this, we need to focus on keeping everything how it was and keeping it
That was
so.
such an inspiring statement, Shaughnessy. We built this country together, right, wrong, or indifferent. There was rights, and there was things that were done wrong, and there was things that were not right. But we still built this country together, and we are a country. You're not a black American. You're just a freaking American. I'm an American. Doesn't matter what the color of my skin is. I'm so
Well,
old to that.
we have had a lot of negativity in this country, from the Native Americans to the blacks to what's happening now. It's a shame, and we should all be sorry and apologetic for that. I wasn't a part of that. Terry wasn't a part of that. You weren't a part of that. But as we grow, we can come together and realize all that was BS and it should have never happened, but
Right,
we can correct that. I
right,
want to correct that to you, Shaunesi. I
right.
want to correct that to Terry. I want to correct that to any Native American person that just was mistreated in this country. I wouldn't want that for anybody. It should have never happened, but we want to stop that now because it's still continuing
Right. But it's
in a
continuing with a
different
different
way.
narrative. And
Right.
It is.
there's putting sprinkles of this rainbow on it, and it's making people crazy. So you have a
Right.
person that they don't even know themselves enough to even be able to do their job as a politician, or as a oath holding a person for the people. And that's where it get complex at. And so we have to become those people. If y'all are on this line and you want to run in a small, in your backyard, maybe a small campaign, you want to start, get on a ballot, I say get on the ballot or get on the record. If you need help with it, if you need
What is book
confidence, let's do
Shaunesi?
that.
What book Shaunesi?
I
Book
tried to put
Shaunesi
it
at
up.
I'm doing
gmail.com.
it. What is
Yeah.
it?
Book BOOK
I got it. Shaunesi.
Shaunesi at gmail.com. Yes.
Uh,
Or you can go to
eh,
my website, which is Shaunesi.com.
okay. Well, let's just do that. I got it. I'm working on it.
Book Shaunesi at Shaunesi.com.
No, just
Oh,
Shaunesi.com. It's
Shaunesi.com.
her
Right.
website.
Yes,
Right.
Book
Shaunesi.com.
Shaunesi at
Gmail.
Gmail.com.
That's my
Gmail.
email.
I
Right.
got that up right here.
Right.
I
Yep.
started typing. I didn't know if it was Gmail or not.
So we are all J6 will be. I will start. I'm looking for people who are ready to come out of their shell and get on the record. Let's do this. It's over. It's time. I mean, what's the worst thing that's going to happen? The beauty of the Constitution is the Constitution for political positions is come as you are. You can come as a felon. You can come as a college dropout. As long as you are ethical and willing to lead the people, you can be on a ballot. You can win. We
Check
can
this
do it.
comment. Check this comment out right here. This is from Sean Treadway. This is the most country MFer you ever met in your life. But he is my brother in Christ. He's been down on the border. He is like a long beard wearing, cowboy hat wearing, but he will out Holy Spirit anybody in this room. This is my brother from another mother too. And he, I swear to God, he's the same way. He's got this heart for unity, and he tries to breed that within our conservative community every chance he gets. And that's what needs to happen, man, because we are so much stronger together. Until we stop fighting, infighting, race baiting, all this other crap, we're never going to win. We're never going to win.
Well, but
they're
that's
gonna
the
keep us
agenda
down.
of the left is they want to divide because division is going to separate, and the more separation is going to lead them in a position of power and to dictate and to keep moving forward with their left nut agendas. And to the final thought of that is to really control America, control each one of us, control the narrative of America, to control the where they wanted to go. And I believe it's really being done by a minimal amount of people, a small group that's putting that together in order to do so.
Right.
Well, listen, guys, we are at the top of the hour. Shaunesi, I want to thank you so much for coming on. We kind of covered a lot of different bases. We went from civil liberties to political prosecution to
Well, that's what this show's
J6ers
about.
to
That's
black
what we
versus
do.
white, all this stuff, and we covered a lot of ground, and we loved having you on last time. We're even more appreciative this time. Thank you so much, sister. You are my sister, and you know that, and you have embedded yourselves in this community in a way that I wouldn't have seen, a year ago, 2 years ago, and standing up for, the J6 community. My heart goes out to you because that's what I do, and I love you for that. And so, thank you so much for coming on.
Shaunesi gone wild.
Yeah,
Coming soon.
MAGA gone wild,
Yeah,
baby.
MAGA gone wild.
Love y'all. Stay safe, okay?
All right.
All
Thank
right,
you.
man. So we're gonna close out with our music. Shaunesi, I'm gonna remove you from the stage, but we will see you soon. I love you. Man, she is awesome, Bo. We went a little bit over, and we sit there sometimes and we wonder
I won't
about
charge you any extra for that.
yeah, we talk about what are we gonna talk about all this time, and then you get somebody like Shaunesi comes on, and we have our comments from our great viewers, and we thank y'all for viewing in today. I'm gonna close with some music, and Bo, take us out, brother.
All right. I want to thank everybody for being a part of our broadcast tonight. This is the Real Deal broadcast. We try to get it out as much as we can to the different locales. This is the Real Deal broadcast on Facebook, and you can find us on the Patriots at Large group and on YouTube. Don't forget YouTube, because a lot of people don't use Facebook or the social media sites anymore because they're tired of the left nut controllers of that. But all you got to do is go to youtube.com, search the Real Deal broadcast, and there will be. So until next Thursday at 6 daylight.
Oh, hey, let me tell you real quick. Next Thursday at 6, we have Stephanie Hamner and Thomas Hamner coming on, and they will be talking about a whole nother overreach of our government with Child Protective Services taking their kids because of their involvement with January 6th. So come back next week. We would love to see you guys again.
All right. Be blessed. Be safe. Until next Thursday, have a wonderful week.
I see where a little girl
The great
got lost in the
movie.
devil's world and died for a cause she never even knew. Watched my friend go up in smoke. He was only 20 years old. Why don't soldiers make the news? They provide us all the freedom to live. They give all that they can give till the ultimate sacrifice is paid in full. It's all done for the red, white, and blue. Why don't soldiers make the news?
All right, guys. Peace out. We'll
All
see y'all next week, man. Love you.